none of those have been positive. So again, our numbers continue to be low. We did have our CARES Fund, crews that were coming in. We did have 5 of those that tested positive last Sunday. So they have been quarantined, and now, they have now tested negative, so they will be back on site this week.
Questions of this report?
Mr. Williams, I really strongly urge you to make it a priority to hire, beef up the hiring and staffing. And I know you are, but that really is your utmost concern at this point, so
Absolutely.
that we can go into direct supervision.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And do you have any update on, emergency staffing? Like, I know you had some ideas about having help from other entities. Do you have any updates on that?
I put that request out, and I have talked to those individuals today, but a final decision has not been made yet on that. But those requests have gone out to people.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, what's our, do you know what our daily population is today?
What was? Yeah, 1792 this morning.
No, population.
We've been averaging, I mean, we've been around 1770s, and it did go up over the weekend. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but we are at 1792 this morning. I know the jury trials start this week, and there was 30 that went to jury trial this morning, so that number could go up this week. We continue to work with the Department of Corrections to get those transferred out that have been sentenced. And we're doing everything that we can to get those folks, where they need to be.
Okay, and can you provide some information on where we stand on our projects that were funded with CARES Act funds?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we have not had any work done since last Sunday, as those crews were pulled off the site as a result of 5 of the contractors testing positive. And again, we have not had any staff infected by those 5, and we have tested our maintenance staff. And of course, we're always looking for anybody that runs a temperature that has any kind of symptoms, and that has not been the case. Those contractors that were pulled off, they were retested, and they came back negative, so they ought to be back on the job either today or earlier this week.
Okay, thank you.
Other comments or questions of Ms. Williams? I see that, I believe Mrs. Zedri has arrived, is that correct? Would you like to come forward and speak?
Thank you for coming down and taking the time to come here. So you just heard our director give a report, and we recognize that you're here to discuss a family member.
Yes, my son, Christopher Guidry, I don't know.
I'm sorry, would you lower the microphone?
My son, Christopher Guidry, I don't know if he still is the youngest inmate, but he was arrested at 14, barely 14. Sorry, it's not hard.
Yeah.
He has been there for almost 2 years. I do want to make it clear that he's not there because of physical evidence. It's based on hearsay. I want to say that only because some people in the county jail, even though they're being treated a certain way, are not cold-blooded murderers or heartless criminals, you know what I mean? And so, but anyways, so my son, he's been there almost 2 years. Since the second month that he was there, somehow he has been red flagged, but nobody will give me any information. So therefore, ever since COVID-19, I have not been able to visit my son. He has not had one visit on FaceTime. We cannot share pictures. I can't put money on his books with a card. I have to drive to the county so if the kiosk is broken, which happens often. He doesn't get commissary that week. He doesn't get phone calls. There were a few times I would go visit him before the COVID-19, and he would have black eyes and busted lips. He wouldn't tell me much. He said he was trying to save me from my emotions. He's pretty strong. He's been extorted for commissary. He's been jumped by a co-defendant in his cell. He's been, he even requested protective custody twice, because he feared what was going to happen, what was going on in there. He was young. When my son went into the county jail, he was a happy, healthy 14-year-old. Now he's on 3 medications. Nobody informed me of it. He did. So I don't know what they are or why he's even on them.
You got a lawsuit.
There's a lot of times when I am on the phone with him, he's counting bugs, whether it be roaches or bed bugs. He's well liked in there though. He's been trustee since the 4th month. I've had guards and the teacher call me, tell me what kind of kid I have. They don't understand why he's there, what's going on. He's well liked and respected by the inmates. He's pretty cool, pretty smart. He was illegally interrogated, and so the detectives were able to force a confession out of him, in which he confessed to 3 crimes. Since then, the DA has proven he didn't do 2 of them crimes. 1 is a video, so it's one of those situations where I don't sleep, I hardly eat, because I know my son is in the wrong place. He was denied youthful offender, juvenile, anything based on a comment he made on a phone call with his friend. Not because of evidence. Evidence proved that he could be rehabilitated, that he should have been put through the juvenile system. So it's kind of, we've been thrown a few curveballs, but he's holding in there as much as he possibly can. Like I said, he's well liked. He respects anybody and everybody in there, but there's been many times I've been on the phone with him. The way he's treated by the guards, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me.
That's on you.
Not only is he a kid, but he's a human. And I feel like he, at some point, he's treated as an animal, or, like I said, a cold-blooded murderer, a heartless criminal. And at the end of the day, he's a kid. There was 7 months that he didn't even get to go to school. They weren't being schooled. So he didn't get out of a cell at all. For a kid, that's hard. Mentally, emotionally, physically, it runs a toll on a young kid. And so, the first year he was there, I didn't do anything for holidays. This year, I went to my mother's. He spoke to 6 family members. By the 6th family member, he was having anxiety because he wasn't used to being spoken to by so many people in such a short time. I feel like him being housed in the county jail has taught him to be somebody he's not. He's had to adapt so that he can survive, literally, and it's changed him a lot. So like I said, the red flag, the visits for a 14, 15-year-old to not be able to visit his mother, his sister, his aunts, his cousins, his friends, or anybody on FaceTime, like all the other inmates, they share pictures, they get visits, he doesn't. We don't get to send messages to each other. There's a red flag. But nobody, and I was told that person has to call. Okay, well, my 14-year-old's on the mother. I was willing to pay the fine, whatever it is, just so he can get visits, and I was told no. There's just nothing I can do about it. I don't find that even human. I find that inhumane. I find it cruel and harsh, especially since he didn't do anything for the red flag. Supposedly somebody made a deposit on his name and called and disputed it. So why is he being punished?
No, thank you very much for taking the time to come here as well, and maybe, William, would you want to speak to her on the side, and we have a gentleman over there that will be able to really help understand the issues that you've mentioned and brought before us. So appreciate you taking the time and taking care of that, and look forward to you working with Mr. Monday here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And will you, just so I clarify, are you Miss Cynthia?
Yes.
And then is there also an August?
That's my daughter.
August? Is Augusta?
She doesn't want to speak.
Well, thank you all for coming, and please work with William.
Why couldn't Mr. Crouch, the vice chair, be bothered to listen to the entirety of what she just said? I'm very curious. It seems incredibly rude. This was a heartfelt message She's up here talking about how Oklahoma County is literally torturing her son, who is a minor. And let me be clear, those are very huge violations of his constitutional rights that she just mentioned.
Thank you, and
I
let
think
it
it's at the
also
well-
be
wait,
clear
don't
that we're
cut me
working
off.
with our right
Do
in
not
real
cut me off,
time.
Tricia, it's not gonna work out well for you. I think we've made that abundantly clear by now.
Ma'am, if I might be able to provide you just a little insight, Mr. Couch is the chair of the Oklahoma City Water Trust. Their meeting started at 1:45, and so he had to go to another meeting.
Well, then perhaps he should adjust his schedule accordingly
Ma'am,
next time
he-
so that he can hear all of the people that need to speak.
I'm
That's
just-
not
I'm
on
just
me, that's
telling
his
you
poor
where he
time
is.
management, it sounds like.
He did not
Or
want to leave,
conflict
he
of
had to
schedules,
leave.
that's not on us, he should have stayed.
Alright,
with us.
so, moving on, I will say that for Mr. Couch, I
I'm
will say for
standing
Mr.
here.
Couch, yesterday's meetings, our meetings are scheduled on Mondays due to a very incredibly, one of the most important holidays and probably
Tricia.
incredible,
Just
our
stop.
meeting
Stop
was
it,
moved
Sarah.
to
We
Tuesday.
don't do that.
You
I
sound
just
just
want
like
to-
Hey,
Chuck.
Anna, did you wanna speak in regards to this report?
No, yes, I do wanna speak in regards to this report, but I'm also gonna speak in regards to what you just heard. First and foremost, I need all of you to understand, because it seems as of right now, only one person, like I said, is competent enough to know what her job position is and what those roles entail. I need you to understand that when we come up here and we're speaking about issues and we're saying we wanna be heard, it's because we advocate for families like this one.
Yeah.
Shit that you would have never even known
Yeah.
or heard about
20 minutes.
if it wasn't for people bringing her into this meeting, letting her know this is the body who you can talk to about the issues in the county jail.
Let's
So
not-
when I come up here to speak, I don't fucking wanna be interrupted. I really don't give a damn about your timer, but you need to listen. As Sarah said, I'm a student, I'm doing research, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Jess is a student, Duran is a student. We're all people who are putting our fucking time and blood and sweat and tears into fixing the problems that are wrong in our county and in your jail. So you need to have some more goddamn respect. We've had various conversations, Trisha, and I thought we might have had an understanding, but today is showing me something different. Now, in regards to this report, it's a little pretentious to say that the numbers are low if you're not testing everybody. We know that you're still not doing that. We know that you're only testing certain people. You're not testing at booking, am I wrong? Not testing at booking, so it's very misleading to say that your numbers are low when you're not even testing people. 500,000 people every day in this country are in jail because they can't afford their cash bail. Those are people who don't have any reason to be sitting in your jail because they're innocent until proven guilty. Low level and nonviolent offenders, you're at 1,792 people when you have a capacity of 1,200. You're 592 people over capacity. You're not testing adequately, so I don't believe you're effectively handling the pandemic. And one way to do that would be to release the nonviolent and low-level offenders and release people who are being held because of non-payment of fines. Thank you.
I'd also just like to add real quick that if it weren't for her coming today and making that tear-filled plea to you guys, I don't expect that she could have gotten any help whatsoever with the issues that she has with her son being in county jail.
Thank you. So as I'd like to add to Mr. Williams' report, and recognizing that individuals, whether they come here or are certainly happily to share with me personally, that we'll check on any individual that we believe has been harmed and concerned. I've given my cell phone number and accessible 24/7 if names arise.
We'll do it.
Second thing I would like to say, and thank very much, that we don't recognize very often, and we probably should report, is our public defender, Robert Rabbits. And Mr. Rabbits has done yeoman's work, and since we have taken over, he's come in now twice, and we'll do quarterly audits to recognize who is in there and to continue to be a partner and a service to Greg, as we call and recognize individuals that should certainly better otherwise be there. So I publicly want to recognize and thank Mr. Rabbits and for the continuation and recognize that individuals.
Mr.
And that we
Rabbits
can
is
do with
another
our
person
part
who
to do
failed
it.
that 14-year-old child.
Madam Chairman, I would move at this time that we go into executive session on item 9. We have council waiting, who suspect the clock is ticking on
Executive
that.
session
So
is
I'll
coming.
move that we move into executive session for item 9.
Already laid down now. It wouldn't have gone this far had you not made us argue with you frivolously for the purpose of distracting us to be heard. And 9 times, like I said, out of 10,
Okay, we have a
man,
motion and a
the
second.
incompetent man, shut up.
There's a motion and a
You
second to
understand
go
me?
into
Oh,
executive
finally,
session.
we
Yeah.
finally
Call the
wanna be
vote.
here to
Yeah,
push your
now you wanna
button.
talk. Yeah, I'm gonna start coming to your goddamn committee council meeting. Wait a minute. I'm so damn upset at you, man. I can't even think fucking straight. You know me? Let me tell you something, boy. I'm gonna start coming to your county commissioner meeting and we gonna have some damn fun. I don't wanna speak for more than 2 hours. You know what I say about that? I'm tired of you.
I hope on your TV
White
show that you
supremacists,
tell the truth and not
Trump
twist it for
follower.
your viewers.
Motion passes, we're in executive session.
Yo, I'll be back. I'll be here when we get back. Yeah. And what about speaking on item 3 when we get back? We're still gonna speak, right? We're still gonna speak, right? Item 3? Item 3, we haven't spoken yet. We haven't spoken yet. How you gonna go to executive session while we in discussion, man? Do you not know the damn rules? Do you not know the damn rules? Like you just got one of us up here that does? Yeah, you forgot one of us who know that does? You don't cut off a discussion time to go into executive session. What that dumb ass talking about? That dumb ass doing? You're a dummy, man. You a dumbass, Lou. You a dumbass, boy. Calvin. You a dumbass, boy. Goddamn white supremacist. Excuse me, white wannabe. You ain't no damn supremacist. You's a goddamn clown.
We step out. We need to go. Oh, we're gonna do it in here? Okay.
And here, no, man. The executive session go back in their room, man. I know this shit. You can't make up. This is our place, man. This is our place, man. This is our place. We don't. The law says we have a right to be in here, man.
When they're out of executive session.
No, executive session right in here, man. In the room. That's why they have a room over here. Is it enough? What about them bitches want in there? Bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck all y'all today. I mean it. Goddamn got the right motherfucking one today. Get your motherfucking tooth. Don't touch me, motherfucker. I gotta leave out here too? I didn't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't talk? Told y'all got the right one the goddamn motherfucking day, dude. That's right. This is my goddamn place. Not them bitches in there. And I'm not talking about ladies, excuse me. I'm not talking about no one. I'm talking about people. Not y'all. Hell, they gonna come in and change the rules, man. We have a right to do that, man.
These aren't the people we mad at.
No, he come tell me. He said I had to leave my house over here. The house belongs to me and now. They don't go executive session out here. The executive session in the room back there, man. Y'all sign these goddamn pieces of shit. Goddamn who? Man, fuck you.
Mr. Michael, my brother, this is important.
Right, don't be mad when you touch the people out there and go back to the outside.
You can't make me break. Force out to take your cup and violation of law because I don't want you drinking. That's not how it goes. If the law says you have the right to do it, you can't take my cup. You can't try to get it. You can't go where we're gonna take it anyway.
No, I'm joking. Just making sure I have mine.
Thank you.
I'm not,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Hey, no. But let me tell y'all something real quick. See, whenever you got a item on the phone, you can't go to the executive session. I know the law. They know I know it. I'm not just about to stop.
I know they're breaking the law, that's why we sued their ass already, and we'll sue their ass again.
Oh, yeah, no, they're gonna get it this time for real. I'm telling you that. DR1. DR1. That's right.
I was mad because that's not a good excuse. I feel like it's laziness. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And I also too, y'all, like I said, on the 23rd, we're gonna have a rally out here. Yeah, what we wanna do is just.
Rally on the 23rd.
They know this guy. against our health. Trust me. We get to talk like committed together, y'all. So science is like our own individual
deployed to Washington DC. The other one's gonna be
Not Gary. I mean, I was just, we didn't cover a bunch of other stuff and, we got, these
I was gonna let you know, when you call 713-1000, you listen to the prompting and the voice there tells you what numbers to push. It says Sheriff Wetzel on it and Under Sheriff P.D. Taylor in that recording. It's been that long. Yeah. I called it today.
The sheriff just took over. So
Yes,
takes
but
a
it
minute to
said
get to all of
Sheriff.
those small things.
It said Sheriff Wetzel.
Yeah, that needs to be corrected.
Yep.
Not that.
But see, that's my idea that they know me, they'll see me from out like this. But that's why you have to mark in your votes. I don't get mad at all, man. You got to think of in the I don't know that. That's not how that works. So you got 11 votes. Mine is dog. I mean, the biggest joke. No. I'm saying that's good, but.
No, I understand. It's like we all got a voice, and whether you're rich, poor, you know, or whatever social construct that's ridiculous.
We're gonna go take this quick break. Hi, Washington. Thank you all for having one integrity and all the elected officials combined in this.
Guys, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna pause it.
You can't say, well, okay. All right, exactly.
Keep waiting.
Manager, and they already know what they want for the car.
Well, yeah, and then they fired a client for non-payment or whatever.
Yeah.
They've made that
Then you
money,
got to
the
start
payment's
over.
still all over.
I was almost in that situation because I fired my attorney.
It needs to go to the Attorney General's office.
Yep. Yep.
Businesses, you can all you know the rules and regulations. You don't set the you got to stand up and speak with something. Think about what white supremacists doing around here, you know? You got to back it. You're white, I'm a back it. You do it for me.
He's like, I was about to say it, she got it. Every time I'm just about to stand up.
My arm hurts. I don't think you can go back there. No.
Francie, do you have a minute? I just want to introduce you to this family. I know how dedicated you are to the children. Pontus and Cynthia, thank you for coming. I know that Sarah can get us some advice
I need the summary of your son's name so that I can make sure I follow up. What's going on with him and I'll make sure I keep my eye on him.
They said Christopher reported a young female attorney going to check in on them and having given him a long and I wonder if that may have been you.
You and I have gone over this stuff.
It is something I would do. I don't have a lot like saying that. I wish it was that.
I'm not gonna be like Rocky King. So we get along, just be gentle about us and play on like I'm gonna war. I'm gonna tell you that. That's how it takes a bunch of combo combos. We have a society built up on white supremacy. Systemic racism.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
I mean, teachers and guards call you and say,
And you two over here, now rule is not making justice. Oh, man. Oh. That's not the way to handle the business. That's not good. God knows I'm you know
Are you able to get some things fixed sometimes? I have a small issue. A friend of mine that went to jail said he couldn't read the bondsman phone numbers because when you photocopy something over and over and over and over, the numbers start to you can't tell if it's an 8 or a 6 or a 9. He said he had great difficulty reading bondsman phone numbers. And that was 2 months ago, I don't know. But you couldn't read the bondsman numbers for the multiple photocopying.
I ask for a motion on item number 10 to return from executive session. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the vote. Call the vote.
Start back.
Who is not voting?
I vote yes.
I'm gonna do a loud vote. Motion passes 5-0. We're back in session. Thank you.
The motion for what?
Come back for executive.
Return from executive session. Items 3 and 4 are changed. Item number 4 only because our staff has left. Item number 4 for the Community Advisory Board, it is live, Oklahoma County, okcountydc.net. We certainly would appreciate anyone applying to be a member of the Community Advisory Board at okcountydc.net. You can also contact the
DC.net. OKCountyDC.net.
Or go online, or be able to phone, or we can get written applications, but, I certainly encourage people to apply, to sign up for their interest, and to pass it along to those that they may know that wouldn't otherwise be here at this meeting and carrying forward. Moving that to item number 5, I see that Mr. Washington would like to speak.
Now, which one we on? 3?
We're on item number 5.
Oh, 5? Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, will you look at here? Discussion and possible action regarding creation of an authority committee to study and develop recommendations to the authority as to beneficial methods of classification and supervision of incarcerated persons, along with strategies to decrease the population of the Oklahoma County Detention Center and appoint an appointment of a chair and members of same. Well, I'll be just a doggone minute. Really? Are y'all really talking to me and expect me to believe this poppycock here? What the hell do you people think y'all talking to around here? You already know the damn problem with the Oklahoma County Jail. What the hell you need to produce another authority to do the same damn thing you doing? What you're trying to do then is illegally spend money to cover up for the money that you're short already for. That's all that's for. Now then, that doesn't even make sense for you to spend for the classification and supervision of incarcerated person. Are y'all telling me the people that's already supervising incarcerated is incompetent? Shouldn't you already open the door and let them out then? Since you need to appoint a committee to review what they're doing and not doing? You got 792 people incarcerated in dilapidated, inhumane, totally unconstitutional conditions, and then you're going to tell me that you don't need some help? Really? Well, let me tell y'all one damn thing today. I'm not crazy as snow, but I do know how to make it happen. You know what? When they told me it was 1,792 inmates in that jail, you know the first thing I thought about? The year 1792. I said, no, 1792, they can't be talking about incarcerated people in a 1,200-man jail. Nah, that's not real. You know, you're going to appoint a committee to look at. I'm the committee. Appoint me over. I damn guarantee you all them suckers going to be going up out of there. Yeah, because I've got my evidence before me. I know that these people being denied the constitutional right to fair and impartial trials. I know that they're not giving the COVID-19 test. I know that there are 3 people to a cell designed for 1. I know that these people are not giving them adequate phone calls and visitations like this wonderful lady spoke about her 14-year-old child. Huh? And then y'all gonna tell me you're gonna sit back and appoint a committee? You gave this child 3 medications without the permission of their parent? Come on, man. This is the United States, not Cuba or some damn European country that's what communism is. Russia. This is the United States of, United Snakes of America. That's what this is. Anytime they allow people like yourself to conduct yourself in an unconstitutional, unorderly manner, there's a problem with this picture here. And I'm one and I'm going to bite my tongue. Let me say one thing before I go. You all will be investigated because I will handle this. Hasta la vista, baby, dinner.
Thank you very much. Adriana, did you want to speak?
I'm sorry, I was having a conversation with Mr. Williams. I'm not sure if you guys have already had your discussion on this topic, but I agree with the sentiment of Mr. Washington to an extent of the fact that it's pretty ridiculous. You need a committee to do things, research on things that you should have already been doing, like supervising your inmates. I don't know what you're trying to propose here, whether you're gonna pay people to do research or what, but like you said, your committee's right here. We have communication with the people in there, we know what's going on, we're the researchers. I don't know. I also wanna address the fact that, again, I'm very disappointed in the way that this body has conducted themselves today as far as the Criminal Justice Authority. And I think that also, I don't understand why we just had to leave the room for your executive session if it wasn't in here. I know this is off topic,
We
but
weren't there.
you were in there?
We were there. We stayed in here for social spacing. Make sure.
Gotcha. I appreciate the explanation. I also think that you just might have set a precedent for jail trust members to be able to talk back when we're up here talking. So thank you for that. Ms. Chairwoman.
Tommy, talking to you.
I was. Yeah, this is just really sad. This whole thing here is just really sad. And you look very incompetent and uneducated and unqualified to do what you were put here to do. Because of your lack of supervision in the jail, an inmate has lost their life because of your lack of people doing their jobs in there. So maybe you should, do some monitoring on that and investigation on that. But unless I hear something from one of you guys, which I doubt I will because I don't agree with any of you on anything most of the time, I think this is a stupid idea. So change my mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm signed up to speak. On 5.
Thank you, Mr. Harper.
Is all right?
Go ahead.
Okay. I think some of the recommendations, you could talk to people who actually work in the jail and see what deficiencies they're having right now and what could help them do their job better. And I think one of the things that I've always noticed when I worked in the jail was that we were always understaffed. And one problem is the pay isn't up to snub for the job that you do up there. You might look at the federal pay scale, what people are being paid at the federal level. I think they're a GS 12 schedule for that type of job. And you may look at seeing if you can retain people better with better pay. Because when I worked there, everybody wanted to go work at the FTC because the pay was double. So if you're not paying people enough, you're not going to be able to keep enough people there to properly take care of everybody. And supervision, you just might look and see how other facilities are supervising their staff members and the inmates and see if they're getting, if there's a deficiency there. You might start looking outwardly, because if the problem's inside, you're not going to find the solution inside. And Francie, I wore a shirt just for you today, just for you, for when we do the pledge.
You don't need to say nothing, though. You don't need to say nothing. I don't stand up. You didn't mess around. Yeah, talk to me.
Jess, did you want to speak?
No, I'm good.
Christopher Johnston.
It's something you should remember is we fought for people to be able to have freedom of speech. They don't
True.
have to, so they don't want
That's part of it.
Anyway, I want to talk to you all real quick. Again, this is a democracy. We should be able to exchange in dialogue. We should be able to talk amongst each other. I hear we're going to create this committee, but your actions show that are you really going to listen? Are you going to listen to what people ask? Or are you going to, as it says in the Holy Quran, as well as says in the Bible, verily the hypocrites will be in the lowest depth of the fire, no help will you find for them. That means that the lowest scum of this earth are hypocrites. That's what that means. And I just implore you, as we try to move forward, we have to do the people's business. That also means that you have to engage with the people. You have to listen to the people. You have to obey the United States Constitution. You have to do all of these things. And I wanted to read an excerpt of something that was written in 1963 that mirrors. The language is a little different. It's from Dr. King. Letter from a Birmingham jail. First, I must confess that over the last few years, I've been greatly disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in the stride toward freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I can't agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically feels he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by the myth of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection.